You might have imagined, because I just did 4 directions, that there's a lot of different combinations of things that you can do, considering we just talked about doing anti-spin and in-spin, and then I was talking about a different number of pedals. So, for example, I'm not sure you've actually done this move yet, but let's try it. If you have both poi overhand like this, in split time, you can take both of them on your side plane and do these big extensions. This would be a 0 petal flower, because you're creating the framework right here for the flower, but there's no petals like that inside it. So it's just a 0 petal flower, or a giant, in overhand, in split time. If you watch me from here, my feet are in line with each other. As I'm doing it, I'm syncing up the motion of my hip. I'll show you from the side as well. I'm syncing up the motion of my hip with my arm. So every time the arm passes 6 o'clock, it's a cue. You can imagine there's a peg on your hip to pull that hip back. The goal with this pattern is to be able to execute the move so that the poi tension from the tip of the ball all the way to your shoulder socket, which is the center of rotation, is one straight line. So you don't want this. Wait, hold on. Right, see how my poi are flopping? What you do want is this, where you have a nice tension all the way across the tether, all the way down to the shoulder. Okay, so that's your objective. What I would call either the overhand 0 petal flower or the overhand giant. Let's actually start with the context of everything that we've talked about today is an introduction to poi flowers. Now, I cheated when I gave you that sprinkler, because the sprinkler is sort of a more advanced horizontal flower, but it is in the family of poi flowers, about the framework of a flower. So the idea with a flower is you have this circle in which other circles live. So if there's no other circles in it, then you have this 0 petal circle, because there's no petals within the framework of the big circle. Once I can now spin it where I do, say, 1 petal up top, 1 petal up top, 1 petal up top. So that would be a 1 petal flower. Can you see that? And so this would be a 1 petal flower up top. But I could do 1 petal here in the back. That's a different flower. It's still a 1 petal flower, but it's in a different location. Now, you could do it in any number of locations. You could do any number of petals. You could do the same number of petals with each arm, or you could do different petals with each arm. You could do the poi on the same plane. You could do the poi on parallel planes. You could do the poi on perpendicular planes. So, for example, this is a 4 petal anti-spin flower on 2 parallel planes. But now I can do it on a perpendicular plane. That makes it atomic. Now this is an atomic flower. Atomic patterns have planes that are perpendicular. So I'm using this plane here on this side of the box, and this plane here on this front of the box. Like based on how I'm standing right now, I'd call this side and front plane, side and front plane. And so I'm creating this 4 petal overhand, bow poi overhand, 4 petal anti-spin atomic flower. But like, you could do something like what we were doing just today, where we're doing this cap in horizontal while you're doing a vertical 4 petal, right? So that's another type of atomic flower, okay? Now, flowers, in my opinion, are just this infinite rabbit hole of possibility, and the question is, which one of the awesome things do you want to do? I would say a really great place to start is to learn your 4 basic in-spin flowers and your 4 basic anti-spin flowers. So the in-spin flowers, this would be side opposite left. Left hand's overhand, right hand is underhand, and we do 4 petals in spin. You'll notice I'm using the Pilates drill to get myself through the pattern. You'll notice there's tension on the cord all the way through, and then I can do its opposite, where the right hand is overhand and the left hand is underhand. So these two are the two opposite direction 4-petal diamond mode in-spin flowers. Then you can do same direction. This is overhand. You'll notice in same direction it's in split time. The reason I think opposite direction can be easier is because they're in same time. And the reason I think same direction can be harder to start with is because of the split time. It's really hard to keep this timing in the beginning and not accidentally do like this where the 2 poi are syncing up. You really are looking to get a nice clean split time where it looks like the 2 poi are meeting in the middle. And then the 4th flower is the underhand 4-petal like this. Those are the 4 basic 4-petal in-spins, and then their counterparts in anti-spin. This would be side opposite left 4-petal. This would be side opposite right 4-petal. Then this would be underhand 4-petal. No, that would not be what that is. Sorry. No, that was a hybrid, sorry. Let's try it again. This will be underhand 4-petal. And this would be overhand 4-petal. And then when I'm turning, I'm pairing the moves with their opposite. Overhand with underhand, or side opposite left with side opposite right. So if you want to start getting into all of that, you have to get the basics down before you can get the turns down. And then if you want to get really crazy and start doing that thing I accidentally did a minute ago where I did this. This is a hybrid where my right hand is doing a 4-petal underhand anti-spin, and my left hand is doing a 2-petal overhand in-spin. And so it goes. And you can imagine just from that little like glimpse, the infinite number of possibilities there are. Drills are your friend. I would not skimp on the drills. So whichever flower you start off with, and the thing is, you can drill one-handed, both overhand and underhand in the 4-petal, but maybe not put all 4 of them together, maybe focus on one of them, but you can focus on all of them too. The thing that I would try and make sure of is I said earlier, you want to be able to do 10, 10, 10, 10 without a mistake. I'd say that's a good rule of thumb to be able to comfortably, without feeling like you're efforting. I'm not saying I'm not saying that there isn't any work to it. I'm just saying without feeling like you're like that place where you're contracting the flow stipation place. It can feel hard, but it's different to be all like stick up your butt about it. So from that place where you're feeling like you're not overly efforting, to be able to do 10, 10, 10, 10. So that's a set of 10, a set of 10, a set of 10, a set of 10 without any errors. Then try putting it together, because it's more than twice as hard when you're doing both hands for most people. And a lot of people will say to me, but I can do it with one hand just fine. I'm like, yeah, that's nice, but you know, that doesn't mean that you could do it with 2 hands just fine. There's a lot more going on when you add a second hand into it. So you have to practice more than you think you would probably. Give yourself the gift of that, but I'm not saying don't try putting it together. I think pushing your edges from both sides is helpful. Doing the one-handed drills, but then trying to put it together. And what you can do is you can look at the video and see how bad or good it is. When you're in opposite direction, it should be pretty easy to see. Either, like, a common thing to have happen might be something like this, right? My left arm is too low, my right arm is too high. So they're not lined up with each other, right? You want to have them lined up. Or you'll get up top here and they're not really up at the top. Or if you look at the camera from this angle, you'll see the planes are skewed, right? All of these things you can tell from a camera without needing to have a mirror, and you can take a video of yourself and look at the video after the fact to self-correct yourself. The reality is you are with you more often than I am, and teaching you how to correct yourself will help you have better progress more quickly. I'm not saying you're not going to get stuck, but having the ability to know what you're looking for is really helpful. So I would definitely recommend you do a bunch of practice, try it out, see where it's at.